Rolling. Welcome, my name is Keith Tolan, and glad to have you here with us as we paint on the patio. And I'm going to go ahead and just start, and my surface here is going to be on canvas, and I like working with the dark and working from the dark area and coming to the lighter area. So step one is going to be to prepare that background. And in most cases, even though it's dark, I don't want it to be 100% black. So it looks a lot more black in the beginning, and I'll add a little bit of color. I'm going to add some violet to sort of warm it up so that it's not just a total void, neutral area of space. And I'm going to start working from the top down. I'm not a fan of working wet on wet. And when I begin to add the figure, I'll also start from the top down. I guess I've already let the cat out of the bag. The goal is to create a figure coming from this black background. I like working with color. Painting in many ways is an illusion. It's the goal of the artist, whether it's abstract or even realistic, to convince the viewer that what they're getting on the canvas is what the artist has in mind, what the artist has constructed. One of the advantages of working with acrylic, especially when you're working outside, is that it speeds up the drying time, and I like that. Again, as I said earlier, I'm not a fan of working wet on wet. So my first step is to prepare the canvas, to get a really good surface for the paint to build on. I would categorize my technique as a stacking process. I stack one color on top of the other. I do some blending, but blending of color is not a major factor in my technique and how I work. I'm a fan of organizing shapes, making those shapes work, building one shape on the other. And now I have my surface prepared. Next step is to find an interesting subject to work with. And I hope that doesn't take me my whole 15 minutes. I'm not a big fan of technology, but I use it. I'm not a fan of technology because it doesn't do what you want it to do when you want it to do it. Like now. So, while the computer is deciding that it's going to cooperate, I'm going to go to my next step, which is to start building from my background to my foreground image. Stop.